Hey there, my name is Jake Riley, and I'm a member of Fredericksburg, Emmaus. Thank you for taking the time and trusting your friends and loved ones who recommended this experience for you and watching our video. You're going to hear from several members of our community throughout this video about their life and experiences and how Emmaus has affected not just them, but those around them and in their community. First, we'd like to take a moment and just tell you why we love Emmaus and why we think that experience might be right for you in your walk with Christ.
If you're on the fence, you need to pray about it, and you need to decide whether or not you believe that it's right for you. So it's really between you and God. Because it's not something you should be pushed into. And sadly, there have been individuals who I've really thought were really ready, and there have always been circumstances that come up. So at that point, I've just said, okay, this is God's time, this is not my time. So I've had to defer to God's time. Obviously, He knows more about this than I do. But if they said, well, you know, I'm not really sure. If they pose that question, then I would say, well, let's look at you. Here are all the things that you are doing in our church. You are really ready for the next step. And here's some things that Emmaus provides. It provides leadership opportunities. You're surrounded by people who are like-minded like you. You're being surrounded by a group of leaders. You're already a leader. Now you're just going to get into a group of leaders. And they will stoke you. They will keep you going when the road gets rough. And they will assist you if you need assistance. And you can't run this road by yourself. So it's a team effort, and they will help you along the way, spiritually and emotionally and all of that. And so it's well worth trying. And that's what I've suggested to some people. That's what I would say.
So, when I've sponsored a bunch of people, and when I talk to them, I tell them straight up, I'll tell you anything you want to know about the walk. There's nothing secret about it. There's nothing, that is clan-like or whatever. I'll tell you anything and everything that you want to know. And we have a really good discussion, and I tell them it's a personal awakening on your walk with Jesus, period. That's what it is. And if you're on the fence and don't know, you need to pray about it and really think about it, because I think it does and will make a difference in their lives.
Send those members. Following Christ is all about discipleship. It's about learning about God's grace. It is about putting that into practice. And the Walk to Emmaus is a short course in Christianity. It is helping those who are already the leaders in your church become even stronger in their faith and their testimony, and then being able to take that out. Now, I have heard pastors say in the past, what happens? They're going to come in and try to change the church. You know what? If somebody comes in that from Emmaus Walk, talk to them. Because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to replace the local church. We are not here to change the local church into an Emmaus Walk or an Emmaus experience, but we are here to help your church become even stronger, and for those who are attending to become even stronger leaders in the local church.
But the Walk to Emmaus isn't just about the 3-day Emmaus experience. While that is a true blessing, and dwelling for 72 hours in the presence of God and the love of Christian community can be a life-changing event, the purpose of Emmaus itself is to train up and build leaders to go back into the local churches and to be the church, to be the hands and feet of Christ in the community. Emmaus focuses on equipping, calling, and building up leaders to take and do the work that God calls them to do. Several of our members are going to share some of the things they have done as a result of their experiences with Emmaus, back in their local churches?
Well, I was active in my church, faithful attending services, Sunday school classes, special events, even helping out when asked. I was encouraged to go, well, I was encouraged to go to Emmaus weekend. I agreed, but I wasn't sure why I needed to spend a weekend with my faith. I was comfortable with where I was, and to be honest, I'd settled into my comfortable little rut and wasn't all that concerned about getting out of it. Then the weekend began. First, I was skeptical. Here I was in a room full of men from various denominations, all at different places in their faith, and I wasn't sure where I belonged or even if I belonged. Then the music started. It was amazing. Men of all ages, faith, and abilities were singing praises, enjoying it, even getting excited about it. As the weekend progressed, we shared our fears and our faith and had many serious discussions between individuals, but the music is where it all came together. And it didn't matter where we came from, where we were, or even where we were going. As the weekend progressed, I began understanding the power of music to cross boundaries and bring people together. My father was a musician and had taught me to sing and basic musical principles when I was young. Then I'd planked around on guitar as a teenager and through college, never really taking it seriously. As the weekend drew to a close, I decided I wanted to be part of the music and committed myself to drag the 3 guitars I'd hauled around with me for over 30 years out of the closet and put them to use. When I got home, I brought all the guitars back up to a playable condition and started playing. After 30 years, it was a bit of a challenge. 3 months after my Emmaus weekend, I retired. My wife bought me a marked guitar for retirement, and I started guitar lessons less than 2 weeks after my last day of work. I now play with the Emmaus group. I've played special music for my church on several occasions, and I've taken over the church's audio system and supported webcasting the services when the pandemic limited us getting together. It's been over 4 years since my walk, and I'm still amazed at how music can bring people together.
I open up with my story a lot more to people about my battles with depression and mental illness and the loss of my uncle. And I've connected with people in my church, one who lost her son to suicide and battles with depression. And I was able to share my story with her and just my walk with God and being able to overcome a lot of that and just being able to speak to those who need that little reassurance, need that smile on their face, and that's what they need some days. Just a simple smile or a simple hug or a simple have a nice day can make someone's day a lot brighter. And just being able to open up and talk with people like that, and just being able to actually speak about my faith and share it and be able to speak about the Bible to those that are questioning their faith, and just opening that door for them and planting that seed has allowed me to help build a good community with friends and help in my church activities.
My husband died in 2014, and this community has been my solid rock then and ever since. So I've quit counting, but I think I've served 25 to 30 times on a team, and I'm now active in Face-to-Face, which is our outreach to older adults, and enjoying that as well. And this is my 17th year as a pastor, and I love Emmaus. It's been a part of my life now for over 20 years. De Caloris.
In church, I was able to do what I could. I became the president of our United Methodist Men, and that was really my focus. I promised that as soon as I could ease up from the work burden, that I would get back involved with Emmaus and with my church. As a result, I have, if you remember right, I talked about service initially, and that, as I said, warmed my heart, and I looked at ways to provide service from our church. You need to serve your church internally to help it grow, and also to serve your community that your church exists in. I've been involved in the Micah feeding programs, both helping to do breakfast as well as dinners. I'm also part of a group called Servants at Work, which build ramps for people that need ramps and can't afford them. In terms of serving the church, I started doing leading a lot more Sunday school classes. I've served on a number of the boards at church. I have led a couple of special groups that the minister asked me to lead to address problems in the church, and that's about it.
That's an interesting question, because I can remember back to my original walk how, it was this overwhelming experience, and it took many teamings after that walk before I was actually able to hear the message that Christ had for me from that walk. And so from that original walk where I first heard my call to ministry and then answered that call, I find that Fredericksburg Emmaus has helped me refine that call even further. It was through the teaming with this community that I was able to discern that I am called to the local church and the local church only. I was able to discern ways in which I needed to learn and grow, and then to find those resources and take that on. It's also a time for us to discover who we are in Christ. And so part of what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to share that love and share that message with all those I meet. The main reason being is that, if you remember back to the end of our walks where we're saying Christ is counting on you, and your response is, I am counting on Christ. Well, Christ is counting on me to be that messenger. And I am counting on Christ to continue to lead me, continue to guide me, continue to open the doors that need to open so that I can be the follower of Christ that God has called me to be.
Emmaus is a parachurch support organization. We're ecumenical, meaning we don't follow the doctrines of any one denomination. What that means is we focus on the things that unite us, not the things that divide us. And the things that unite us are our love of Christ and his love for us. We believe that in order for the church to do its work, we should take and love on the members of the body so that they can go back with that love and show it to those who need to see it. Our members know that love and they want to share it with you.
Well, I'm an old jarhead, so I've had leadership training coming out my ears. I think leading in a Christian walk is really no different than leading in a business or in the military. I believe in taking care of the people first, and by doing that, you're going to take care of the problem at hand. We used to call it troop welfare, mission accomplishment. And there's been debates for years, decades probably, about which one comes first. I'm a firm believer you got to take care of the people first, and the people will take care of the job. And I think our walks with Christ is the same way. We have to take that leadership role to take care of the people, mentor them, nurture them, and help them on their walk, right?
But what this does is it continues to light the fire so that if I ever get down, this always rebuilds me.
Emmaus showed me love without strings. And experiencing that for myself has allowed me to give it. And it's just that simple.
It really is that simple. We celebrate on those 3 days the love and grace of God in so many unique ways that will touch you and personally touch you in ways you've never been touched before by the love of God. We immerse in Christian community to show what we should be doing as followers of Christ. And then we send you back to your church to take that love and take that fire and take that enthusiasm back and go reach the lost. Our passion on an Emmaus walk is drawing men and women closer to Christ so that you can go out and do the same thing for those out there who need God's love. We would love to journey alongside you for 3 days on a walk to Emmaus. Talk with your sponsor, see if it's the right time for you to come, and we will see you on a walk to Emmaus sometime soon.